So that tangible or peripheral, computer peripheral, that is present outside. Some peripheral are present in the outside. Some peripheral are present inside the computer. So that is called as the hardware of your computer. Okay, so you can say the keyboard is a hardware, your mouse is a hardware device. Okay, just a minute. Next is store. It's on heading store. After taking the input, computer store the data and instruction next part is processing. It process the input and do some logical and arithmetical operation. Next, your output. It display the output, right? After processing the input, it display the output. After processing the input, it display the output in a monitor or any other output device such as printer. Okay, so these are the basic cycle that we are performing in a computer. In the computer, first of all, we have the central processing unit for processing our information. So that is called as a CPU. So when you are giving a instruction, your instruction is processed by using of CPU, or you can say it call as a what? It is a brain of your computer. Okay.
Yes.
So a system unit, in the system unit, your CPU is present. The system unit is just like a box filled with a number of useful components. Like when you are using a desktop, in a desktop you are having a CPU box is present. Okay. In
Yes,
the
sir.
CPU, there is a one board is present. It's just like this one. It is a board. Okay. If any problem is happening in the board, then your computer is malfunctioning. It is not working. Okay. And if you notice this motherboard, here you found some CPU processor socket. So here CPU is present here, which is called as a central processing unit. Means what are the instruction you are provided. So that information will process by using of CPU. And here it is having HDD connector, high definition. Means suppose if you want to display your screen on the what in a TV, or you are connected with an LCD, the HDD connector is present, and here battery connector is present here. Here you insert the video clip for the visualization. Means now we are having some high definition of graphics. The laptop that we are using, high definition graphics, it is helping you to display the crystal clear picture in your system. And it is also helping you to play the different kind of game, like PUBG is there, so requires the high graphics. So high graphical game you can play over there, and high graphical software that you can also use, like when you are using in your engineering part, they are using some graphics to represent the architect part of a house, how it looks like. Now when the Ram Mandir is inaugurated, or it is there is a blueprint has given in a 3D structure that we see in the Facebook. In Facebook also we are having a some kind of 3D picture we have clicked.
Yes, sir.
So that is supported by use of this high graphic. Here HDMI port is present, which is you are connecting to the projector. Audio port is also present, where we are giving the what we include woofer or sound box here by using a
Yes, sir.
aux cable. Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
next it is contain the CD and DVD drive, and it is contain the memory slot, which is contain the RAM and ROM. Basically sorry, here it is contain the RAM. Okay, so when your computer is having high uh, amount of RAM, like RAM is 8 GB, so you are asking what is the RAM of your mobile, but I think it is 4 GB, 8 GB. When you are
Yes, sir.
using high volume of RAM, then it is helping you to process your application very fast. Okay,
Yes, sir.
ଆମେ ଯେତେ ହାଇ ଡେଫିନେସନ ବା ହାଇ ମେମୋରିର ର୍ୟାମ୍ ଲଗେଇବା, ଆମେ ଯେଉଁ ବି ଆପ୍ଲିକେସନ ଓପନ୍ କରିବା, ଆଣ୍ଡ when we are giving a instruction, then it is what the application is open very fast. Okay, and your system is smoothly working, it is not hang. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is a basic structure of your motherboard. So this motherboard contain this part. Then first part is your central processing unit. You can call as this part. This is a processor. Okay, it is called as the central processing unit, CPU. A processor of a
Yes, sir.
computer, it is understand the instruction that you are given through the keyboard and mouse. Okay, so it is under excuse me, under it is process the instruction that you are provided. It is generally referred to as a central processing unit. It significantly impact the performance of the computer. Okay, so when you are purchase any mobile phone and computer, they have told you it is using this kind of processor. This kind of processor is present in the computer, in laptop, and this processor is present in your mobile phone. So when you are using high configuration of processor, it is helping you to fast execution. ଓକେ ଇଟ୍ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଲାଇକ୍ ଆମେ କହିପାରିବା ବେଳେବେଳେ କହୁ ମାନେ ଏ ପିଲାଟା ଜଲ୍ଦି ମନେ ରଖୁଛି, ଏ ଟିକେ ଡେରିରେ ମନେ ରଖୁଛି, ମାନେ କାଲକୁଲେସନ୍ ପାଇଁ ମିନ୍ସ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ବ୍ରେନ୍ ଇଜ୍ ସାର୍ପ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ କିଡ୍ ବ୍ରେନ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ସାର୍ପ. Sharp means what? Is able to understand the instruction and process it and giving you the output. In the meantime, uh, that is the work of your processor. So that is present in our brain. Similar way in computer, when you are giving a instruction, if it is giving you output in so fast basis, then we call as it is a good processor. A processor is a small chip made up by the silicon on which it is integrated circuit and planted, and it is integrated circuit contain different path of carrying electrical current. Each integrated circuit can contain the millions of elements. Okay, आ भीतर integrated circuit अच्छी जो millions of element. What type of millions of element it contain, such as resistor, capacitor, transistor. Most of the chip are just 1/2 inch square size. Okay, so now this CPU is a main part of your computer. Okay, it is processing your information in very fast. Previously, in the past generation of computer, we are not using the CPU. We are using glass tube. Like if you did the practical, it is your first year, na? You are not did any practical
Yes,
in
sir.
the chemistry. So in the
No, sir.
chemistry lab, there is a practical lab. What vacuum tube is there? Okay, in your school, if you see that the vacuum tube or vacuum glass is present, where we can do the what chemical all that part. So previously, the in the past generation of computer for processing the information, they are using big glass tube. Okay, and your computer size, it is the size, it will take a one big room. In that room, suppose if you taken as 20 into 70 square feet place, it will take to place one computer. And when you are using the computer continuously, the bulb becomes very heat, and it may be what the glass will destroy. Okay, so for
Yes, sir.
managing this heat, they are using AC. Okay, for cool it down, but it is not continuously work. The vacuum tube every time what when glass tubes are broken, then your data will be lost. So at that timing, they are usually change the glass tube. Okay, but here that glass tube is what reduced, and it is having what container of CPU, so your system size is also reduced. Okay, and now we are using LCD or LED screen of TV, and we are hanging in the wall. Okay, but earlier if you
Yes, sir.
see that जो ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ସବୁ ଟିଭି ଆସୁଥିଲା ତାର ସବୁ ବଡ଼ ବଡ଼ ଭ୍ୟାକ୍ୟୁମ୍ ମାନେ ପଛକୁ ସବୁ ବାହାରିକି ରହୁଥିଲା, ଦେଖିଛ ସେ ଟିଭି?
Yes, sir.
ତ
Yes, sir.
ତାକୁ ଉଠେଇବା ପାଇଁ ଆମକୁ 2 to 3 ଲୋକ ଆମର ଦରକାର ପଡୁଥିଲା, ଆଉ ତାକୁ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ ଆମର ଦରକାର ପଡୁଥିଲା, ଗୋଟେ ଟିଭି ପାଇଁ ଗୋଟେ ସେପାରେଟ
Yes,
ଆମର
sir.
ର୍ୟାକ୍ ବନା ହଉଥିଲା ଯୋଉଟା କି ଟିଭି ରହିବ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଏବେ ଟିଭି ରଖିବା ପାଇଁ ଆମକୁ ଜାଗା ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ, ଆମେ ଜଷ୍ଟ ହ୍ୟାଙ୍ଗ କରିଦବା ୱାଲରେ। ତ ଆମର
Yes,
ଜାଗା
sir.
ବି ବଞ୍ଚିଲା, ଆଣ୍ଡ ସାଇଜ ବି ଡିକ୍ରିଜ ହେଇଗଲା, ଆଣ୍ଡ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଇଜି ଟୁ କ୍ୟାରି। ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ବିକଜ ଅଫ ଦିସ୍ ଚିପ୍ ଇଜ ରିଡ୍ୟୁସ୍। ସେ ଯୋଉ ଭ୍ୟାକ୍ୟୁମ୍ ଯୋଉ କଲର ଟ୍ୟୁବ୍ ଥିଲା ସେଟା ସବୁ କନଭର୍ଟ ହେଇକି ଗୋଟେ ସେ ଚିପ୍ ରେ ସବୁ କନଭର୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲା, ଆଉ ଟ୍ୟୁବ୍ କନସେପ୍ଟ କିଛି ରହିଲାନି। ତ ଆଗ ଟିଭିରେ ସବୁ ଟ୍ୟୁବ୍ ସବୁ ରହୁଥିଲା, that is made up of completely glass। ସେ ଟ୍ୟୁବ୍ ଟା ଫାଟିଗଲେ
Yes,
ଆମର
sir.
ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ଟା ଆଉ ଦେଖା ଯାଉନଥିଲା, ବୁଝି ହଉଛି?
Yes, sir.
So typical, the personal computer contain the single chip. The computer that we are using, laptop or computer, it contains the single chip. Several separate processor chips are present on the larger computer, such as mainframe supercomputer that we are using. So in CPU, what it mainly contain? It is contain the control unit. The unit is a component of processor that direct and coordinate operation in the computer. Okay, it is coordinating all the input devices or hardware devices. It act as a manager by understanding the program instruction and then starting the suitable action and execute those instruction. It direct all the internal component of system unit to perform their respective tasks. Then we have ALU, arithmetical logical unit. ALU is a component of processor that perform arithmetic comparison, logical operation, arithmetic operation. So whatever the arithmetic operation you want to do, it is happen through the ALU chip, arithmetic operation or arithmetical logical unit. Arithmetic operation are basic calculation operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Comparison operation involve comparing the value of two data item and may determine the different action needs to be performed. So that is the work of your ALU. बुझिला?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you just take the photo. If you have another mobile, if you have mobile, then take the photo and you note it down. There's a notes is there. Just Gibson heading central processing unit, then you take this photo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this part. Okay. So what are the CPU or CPU we are using in the current scenario? Like we are using Core i7, i7, i5 machine we are using. Core i7 processor is the most powerful processor. By the processor is developed and it is designed by the Intel. The i7 processor is the very fast processor. Now we are having i8 or i8 processor and 10th generation of computer. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then how your CPU is working. So before going to this RAM, how we have to discuss how the CPU is working. So basically the fundamental operation of your CPU of the physical form, they is to execute the sequence of control. The working of CPU is what are the instruction you have to provide, so that instruction it will process. Okay, so that is the main work. Okay, so Gibson heading working of CPU. Just a minute. The CPU execute the CPU execute the instruction which is called as the program. Okay, the CPU work is what? Suppose whenever you are giving a instruction, you want to give a instruction to a computer, so it is having set of instruction. That set of instruction is called as the program, and that set of program we can call as a software. ଆମେ କହିବା Microsoft Office software install କରିବା, Word ଆମେ use କରିବା, suppose C ପାଇଁ କିଛି software use କରିବା. Okay, so that software is a combination of the program, and program is nothing but it is a set of instruction to do a specific task. Suppose when you are using a Bluetooth option, the Bluetooth is enabled. When you are using a Wi-Fi option, Wi-Fi is enabled. So that is contain the set of instruction. Clear?
Yes, sir.
CPU do the following operation. CPU do the following operation. First Gibson heading fetch, means it is Gibson heading fetch. Okay. So what this mean of fetch? Fetch means it will retrieve the information or getting the information, that is called as the fetch. For getting the information is called as the fetch. So right, the instruction is retrieve, the instruction is retrieved from the memory and fed into instruction register Okay. Next work is a decode. Decode means what? Computer doesn't understand any kind of instruction, but computer doesn't know any kind of programming language. So as in earlier class, I have told computer only understand byte code 0 and 1 format.
Yes, sir.
So when
Yes,
you are
sir.
passing any instruction to the computer, it convert that instruction into the 0 and 1 format. So that is called as your decoding. Okay, means our instruction is converting into the 0 and 1 format. So this is called as the decoding. Okay, so then computer is understand that decode information. Then after uh, what knowing that instruction, then or after analyzing that instruction, it is giving you the output. Okay, so Gibson heading decode. The control unit sends the operation part to the decoder okay. So next operation of computer is execute. Execute means it's just like after decoding, it is converting 0 and 1 format, then it is giving me the output in my format. So that part is called as the execution. The first the program is compiled. Compiled means it is converted to the 0 and 1 format. Then it is execute. Execute means it is giving me the output in my way. So that is called as the execute. Gives an heading execute. The decoder interprets the instruction and accordingly the control unit sends the signal to appropriate unit to carry out the specified task. The next part of your CPU is one is a write back. So after it is execute, then it is giving me the output. So where it is generating the output? So in the monitor it is giving me output, or in the form of printer it is giving me the output. So that is called as the write back. Okay. Next write back. Next page is write back. The result is written back. The result is written back either to a register in the CPU, either to a register. Register means it is a memory in the CPU, for further processing. Okay. That is the work of your write back. That is a basic operation of computer. Then we go for the functional component. Okay, so in the functional component we have already discussed, that is a functional component is your system unit, control unit, arithmetical logical unit. So these are the functional components are present. Now we go to now software concept. So what are the softwares are present? So already what is that software? The set of instruction that you have to provide to the computer is called as the program. Then the set of program to do the specific task is called as the what? Your software. Okay. So apart from that, in the system, what are the main concept is present? One is memory is present. The memory is an essential component. It is present. Software component, operating system. Okay, it is removed. Primary memory. गोटे गोटे जिनस काटी देछि, गोटे गोटे रखी गोटे गोटे काटी देछि, सेटा देखिए आदर गोटे देछि माने कोर्सटा जो चेंज हला बहुत माने कंफ्यूजिंग करी चेंज करछि, माने गोटे पार्ट मझिरे दोछि पुनी काट दो जेटा दरकार नै। एटा देछि तमरो कैचे मेमोरी, रैम रोम, सेकेंडरी मेमोरी। ओके, so memory is what? Now memory is a essential component of the system unit. It includes a set of electronic component that store the instruction. Okay, for storing the instruction we require a memory. One is data, another is information. It stores the instruction, data and information. The instruction in the memory are those waiting to be executed by the processor. Instruction means you are providing an instruction. Suppose you are pressing enter, means you are giving a instruction that your line will go to the next line. Okay, your cursor is moving to the next line. Okay, so that is called the instruction. Okay, and the data is one needed by those instruction, and those information is one obtained as a result of processing. Okay, the instruction in the memory are waiting to be executed by the processor. Data means suppose it is asking you instruction, enter a number one, means it is asking you enter password, enter ID. So it gives us instruction. So we are giving ID and password. Then the data is one that needed, is one needed by those instruction. So जो instruction टा हमें provide कले enter ID and password, the information that we have passed ID and password, that is called as your data, and the information is one obtained as the result of processing. So after processing my ID and password, if my ID and password is correct, then I am getting my output. So that is called as the processing of data. Memory consists of one or more chip placed on the motherboard of the computer. The basic item of that memory store software for controlling and maintaining of the computer device. So in a memory, what we have stored? We have stored the software, information about the task to be performed. Okay, then data being processed and the information obtained from the result of processing. So there are two type of memory inside the system unit. One is volatile, another is non-volatile. Volatile means you can forget. There is a volatile memory. Another is non-volatile. Non-volatile means it will store the information permanent. Volatile memory is a temporary and it loses its content when the computer power is turned off. On that contrary, non volatile memory is a permanent. And it doesn't lose its content when the power is turned off. Okay, so that is called as the volatile and non volatile memory. Okay, बुझेला?
Yes, sir.
तो मु मां को प्रीवियस क्लास रो नोट्स सब देइथली व्हाट्सएप रे, तो कलेक्ट कर नैचो?
Yes, sir.
एटा बुझियला, मेमोरीटा बुझियला?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you take it, এটা ফটো नहीं जाओ memory.
Yes, sir.
Next we have the RAM. So what is RAM? So RAM, how it looks like? So first you notice here, this one is the RAM. Okay, it will place in the motherboard. Okay, in motherboard we are place the RAM. Its full form is a random access memory. This is a memory that the computer uses for storing the program and their data while working on them. Hence, if you are drafting a letter using a word processor, for example MS Word, you are working with a document loaded into the RAM. To store your letter for letter use, it has to be saved on the hard disk. Later you can retrieve it from the disk and continue working on the document. RAM function as a scratch pad for the computer, and it's sometimes called as a scratch pad memory. Okay, means for the specific timing it contains the memory. Okay, so when you write any document in a word, हमें word रे किसी data रखिवा, तो जेपर्यंत हमें ताको save न करिचे, that file is not stored in a memory. It is not stored in a hard disk. It is not stored permanent basis. We are just working. Okay, but after saving, it is stored in the hard disk. When you open any kind of application or app in your mobile phone, for working that app or application, what are the components are required, it store in the RAM. माने से application को workable करिया ପାଇଁ जहाँ भी tools और component दरकार, RAM ताको gather करके से समय represent करिवो. Then we do our work, or you are writing, it's just like a scratch pad, we are writing anything. Then if you are not save it and you close it, then that data has gone. It is removed from the memory because it is stored in the random access memory. When you save in the permanent memory, then you can retrieve it again and again, or you can get it again and again. RAM has the following characteristics. What are the characteristics are present? Data within the RAM can be read or modified. This implies that you can either read from the RAM or write onto it. Hence, it is called as the read and write memory. Okay, you can read it or write it. The concept of RAM are lost when the computer is switched off. So when computer is switched off, what are the thing you have done? It is also removed. RAM is said to be a volatile because it is not store the information permanently. The capacity of the RAM depends upon the memory chip installs, which in turn depend upon the capacity of the microprocessor can handle. The RAM size is the important parameter in determining the size of complexity of the problem the computer can handle. When the people refer to the amount of memory that computer has, they're talking about the RAM available. Okay, when the RAM is available means what? It is collect all the information in one place. माने से एप्लिकेशन सहित काम करिया पई जहाँ भी सब कंपोनेंट दरकार से सब स्टोर हो. जेते RAM अधिक हो सेते तार एप्लिकेशन कंपोनेंट माने एप्लिकेशन ऑन हेले जहाँ भी टूल्स अछि से कंटेनर भीतर स्टोर हो गला. तो मते आ को जगह रे जीवा दरकार नै. It's just like what when you start to cooking, okay, all the items are present like turmeric and what cumic powder, So other masalas are present in salt is present in a small container, so it is present near you, so that it is present in the kitchen, so that it is easy to get it. Okay, so you are not searching turmeric in one room. Okay, salt is present in another
Yes,
room.
sir.
Okay, then what the mirchi powder is present in another room, so we are not searching again and again. Okay, so if your your kitchen room sizes are not big, then you cannot store all the item in the kitchen, so you store it in somewhere, some other places. Then for collecting them, you need to go to the other bedroom or other room. But here, if your kitchen size is bigger, you can store all the information. Then while you are cooking, you are get this item easily from your cooking room, so that it is easier and it is faster to prepare any kind of food. So RAM, if RAM memory is increases, or if RAM memory is bigger, then the information that is required for the application that you open, like you open the Word, you open the Excel. So to work with the Word and Excel, what are the components that you needed? It is stored in the RAM. So what the thing you did, it becomes very fast. When your RAM is lower, then it is loaded small amount of data. When there is again requirement, then again it is searching where the data is present. Then it is again gather and store in the memory. So it will take the timing to execute a particular statement. If all the things are present in a one location, then it is easier to what process your information very fast. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
बुझिला था?
Yes, sir.
So there are various type of RAM we are using that is currently available. One is a dynamic RAM, or it is called the DRAM. It can store the data in a less memory space. However, this type of memory needs to be refreshed constantly, otherwise it loses its content. Okay, there is a less memory space, DRAM. However, this type of memory needs to refresh constantly. Synchronized dynamic RAM, it access the CPU clock for the faster and transfer. Okay, the CPU clock means the timing that we are using CPU clock for executing any statement. Suppose if you open any application, when it will open, तो केतेबेले सेटा ओपन हबो, केते केबेले काम करिवो, सेति आमे यूज करिवा सिंक्रोनाइज डायनामिक रैम. Double data RAM, DDR is a current standard for the RAM, and it offers more bandwidth than the older such as SD-RAM and DDR. So normally we are using DDR RAM that currently we are using. Its processing power is very fast. Then Rambus dynamic RAM, RD is the high performance RAM, and therefore commonly used for the high performance and workstation and server. However, the RD RAM is more expensive. Okay, that is basically it is used in the higher configuration of computer. Okay, so okay, you take the photo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, just a minute. दिशा बुझी होची तो सब जिनस.
Yes, sir.
ओके, मते कहिवो जो पार्ट न बुझी परिवो मते कहिवो. Concept is there in our mind, but I mean confusion हो RAM और ROM भितर. जैसे आम मोबाइल किणुचे सी आमको कहूँ RAM is 8 GB RAM and you have a ROM of 64 GB ROM and sorry, 6480 GB of ROM. So another portion of the internal memory found in the motherboard is called as the ROM. So what is the work of ROM? Then we have another part is a hard disk in a computer. The ROM contains permanently recorded instructions that are vital for starting a computer. For running a computer, मैंने computer को run करिया पाए हमारे जो software हमें install करो that is a operating system. So that operating system is loaded in the ROM. So the set of instruction found in the ROM is called as the ROM BIOS. Okay, so BIOS information store, which stands for read-only memory, which is used for basic input output service. BIOS stands for basic input output service. This program perform most basic control and supervisory operation of the computer. When the microprocessor start, it begins executing the instruction found in the BIOS. BIOS भितर आमे जो instruction store करिवा ताकू ने कि हमारा computer टा start होगा. In the BIOS we are storing our operating system, our clock chip that आमे जो watch जो use करूचे तो हमारा ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम रो जहाँ भी सब ऑपरेशन होची ए बायोस थ्रू रे होची. फॉर एग्जांपल they check whether the IO services have been connected properly to the system or not. It will check whether all the devices, IO services means input output devices, is properly connected or not. They also handle basic need of the hardware involved. When you install any kind of hardware, it is also installed in this BIOS part, which include all the input and output service. The BIOS instruction go to the hard disk to fetch the boot sector. Then your flash memory. Okay, flash memory is called as the cache memory. Okay, so in your book that is present a cache memory. Flash memory is another non-volatile memory that can be erased electronically and rewritten. Today most computer use the flash memory to hold their startup instruction. माने computer जेतले start हवा पे जो instruction सब दरकार एटा flash memory use करा जिवो. As it allow easy content and update. For example, computer may save the time information in a flash memory chip, which can be modified if a daylight saving changes and update the system clock accordingly. Mobile computer and devices also use the flash memory chip to store the data and program. In a smartphone or PDA, a flash memory chip store the contact information in the media player. Okay, so हमें जो contact information टा में store करें, that is a flash memory, it is stored. Okay, so it is not use a ROM. Okay, ROM, it is contained like when you purchase any mobile phone, it is showing you it is a 64 GB of ROM, but already it is occupied 8 to 10 GB or 25 GB for the operating system. Okay, and other part you have to store your own data. The flash memory, we store this information as when you store the contact number, when you store your यूजर आईडी एंड पासवर्ड जेमते कि फेसबुक टाको हमको बार बार लॉगिन करिया को पड़ुनी ऑटोमेटिक सेटा लॉगिन हे कि रहउछि से जो आईडी और पासवर्ड इन्फॉर्मेशन टा एटा हमर फ्लैश मेमोरी बा कैचे मेमोरी रे रहउछि. बुझियला?
Yes, sir.
ओके, तो एठी जो फ्लैश मेमोरी टा अछि जेतरा नोट्स करिवो एटा को तुमे कैचे मेमोरी ना दबो.
Yes, sir.
So both are same, but in your book you have it is a cache memory. Okay, এটা photo नहीं जो.
Yes, sir.
So hard disk, it is normally enclosed in a sealed container. So it is just look like this one. It is contained in a sealed container. It is away from the air, heat and light. It is present inside your system. It provides quite greater storage capacity. The storage capacity of the hard disk is vary. For example, a typical hard disk can store about 40 GB to 2 TB of data and even more. In most of the computer, the hard disk is built in or attached to the system unit. It is attached to the system unit. Then next we have optical disc. It is a flat, round and portable disc. The earlier means before, if you say um, 10 years back, it is so much popular. 10 years or 15 years back, it is we're transferring the information through the optical disc. Okay, it is a flat, round, portable disc with a metal and plastic coating. This type of disc is called as the CDs and DVD. Blu-ray discs. CDs can store the 700 MB of data. However, DVD is capable to store 4.7 GB of data. Okay, so it is a structure of your DVD and CD. These days, a new type of optical disc with high storage capacity we're using. This optical disc is termed as a Blu-ray disc. Blu-ray disc can be stored up to 50 GB of data. So it is a Blu-ray disc. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Gibson heading hard disks. It consists of the stack of magnetic disks. It consists of the stack of magnetic disks. It is made up of non-magnetic material. It is made up of non-magnetic material. Usually aluminum or glass. And coated with very thin layer of magnetic material. Okay. These discs are mounted on the spindle. ଏବେ ତ ଗୋଟେ ଚକ୍ରି ଭଳିଆ ରହିଥିବ ସେ ଡିସ୍କ ଭିତରେ ତାକୁ କୁହାଯାଏ ସ୍ପିଣ୍ଡିଲ. These discs are mounted in a spindle. देखिए ଏଠି. Okay, so এই যে পার্টটা এটা হচ্ছে স্পিন্ডেল. বুঝি হচ্ছে দেখি হচ্ছে এটা
Yes, sir.
এই পোর্শনটাକୁ ଆମେ ସ୍ପିଣ୍ଡେଲ କହିବା.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this one.
Yes, sir.
With a spacer in between, with a spacer in between, and a motor on the bottom on the bottom end of the spindle, on the bottom end of spindle, for the spinning the discs. মানে ডিস্কটা যেটা বুলিব এইটা সেটা স্পিন্ডল রে এটা ହିଁ ক্রস হবো এগুড়া
Yes, sir.
এটা ঘষি ঘষি যেମିତି তুমি পুରୁଣା ଗ୍ରାମୋଫୋନ ରେ ଗୋଟେ ଏମିତି ପଏଣ୍ଟ ହେଇକି ଗୋଟେ ଥାଏ କଣ୍ଟା ଭଳିଆ ସେ ବୁଲିଲେ ସେ ମ୍ୟୁଜିକଟା ଆସିବ ଇଏ ହଉଛି ସେଭଳିଆ ବୁଝିଗଲା
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ଓକେ to read and write to the surface to read and write to the surface of the disc to read and write to the surface of the disc the drive uses a small electromagnetic assembly. The drive uses small electromagnetic assembly.
Sir, small electromagnetic.
Assembly. Small electromagnetic assembly.
Yes, sir.
Referred to as a head. Referred to as a head. And located on the end of the actuator arm. This is a high capacity storage device. This is the high capacity storage device from 1 GB to few terabyte. Okay.
Yes,
এটা
sir.
ଥିଲା ଆମର ହାର୍ଡ ଡିସ୍କ ର ପାର୍ଟଟା ତ ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ଲାସରେ ଆମେ ପଢିବା ସଲିଡ ହାର୍ଡ ଡିସ୍କ ସେଟା ମନରେ ପକେଇବ ସେଟା ସରିଲା ପରେ ଅଲଗା ସବୁ ଆଉ ପେରିଫେରାଲ ହାର୍ଡ ଡିସ୍କ ସବୁ ପଢିବ ଓକେ
Yes, sir.
ମୁଁ ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ଲାସ କେବେ କହିଥିଲି ଦେଖିଦିଏ ଟିକେ ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ଲାସ ଅଛି ଆମର ଟ୍ୟୁଜଡେ ରଖିଯାଇଛି ନା କାଲି ଆମର ଅଛି ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ଲାସ ଆଇଟି ର 9:30 ରେ ମୁଁ ତମକୁ କନେକ୍ଟ କରିବି ଆଉ ହେଲା ତ 9:30 ରେ କନେକ୍ଟ କରିବି ଓକେ କାଲି 9:30 ରେ
Yes,
ରେଡି
sir.
ଥିବ
Yes, sir.
କାଲି ଟିକେ ମୁଁ 10 ମିନିଟ୍ ଆଗରୁ ଛାଡ଼ିଦେବି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ରହିଯାଇଛି କ୍ଲାସ୍ ତାକୁ ପୁଣି ମ୍ୟାନେଜ କରିଦେବା ନେକ୍ସଟ ଇୟର ଆଡ଼କୁ ଓକେ ଚलो ଚलो କାଲି ଦେଖିବା କାଲି 9:30 ରେ ରେଡି ଥିବ ହେଲା
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.